Do you want to know how I maintain my homeschool records? Stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, Dr. Lawyer turned homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 8, 5, and 3. I am embarking on my 3rd year of homeschooling in the fall, and I just wanted to show you so far how I maintain records. Now, some of this record keeping actually started before I started homeschooling, and some of it, as you can see, is brand new. So I will show you all of those details one by one. First off is this giant Sterilite file box, and basically it's just a file box that you can buy from Sterilite. I think I got mine as a 6-pack off of Amazon. They're not too expensive. They're very, very sturdy. They stack on top of each other, and I just really like them for their practicality. I like that you can see through them, see exactly what it is. And I actually put little letter stickers on this side, which I'm not going to show you, just to write down my son's name. And each of my kids have their own bin, and my ultimate plan is to just have this one file box of school materials for each of them, all the way through to 12th grade. I'll see if I can maintain that. As you can see already, my son is only just completing 2nd grade and I have quite a bit of stuff, but kind of like baby things. You know how as the years pass, you start to find things less and less important. So I'll just cull it as it goes, and then hopefully we will stay on track. So when you open the file box, you'll notice that there is a file folder for each year of schooling. My eldest actually started preschool quite early because I worked full-time when he was 3, and so he has quite a lot of work from that year. A lot of work from when he was 4, 5, and then kindergarten, and then 1st grade and 2nd grade I haven't actually started filling yet, except for his test scores, which the state of North Carolina requires. Basically, you'll notice that I have a lot more from the years that he wasn't homeschooled than from, for example, 1st grade where he was homeschooled. And I think part of that is because I honestly felt like so much more of this was important because I wasn't there. And so when I would see things like a story that he had written, or a piece of, you know, like his handprints, or a piece of art that he had done, it meant so much to me because I felt like I had missed it. These folders basically contain schoolwork, but also things like Taekwondo certificates and things like that that he might have gotten from extra classes or extracurriculars. In 1st grade again, so there's Taekwondo certificates in there, notes that he's written to people or people have written to him, and things like letters to Santa and just funny drawings, etc. I try to keep these restricted to like schoolwork or things that they've done in school environments, and things that show their progress. But again, when I homeschooled, I didn't save that much because we have notebooks that we've kept where he did like free writes and things like that, and that will eventually go in here, but right now it's still on the shelf. So I will cull this as I go. So as I run out of room, I'll start culling the things from before, and that'll be the way that it goes. In the 2nd grade one, I haven't really put too much except for his standardized test scores, which the state of North Carolina requires. But I labeled these all the way through to 12th grade, and hopefully I can stick to the plan and just have one file box per child. But I think this is a really nice way of keeping it contained. So one thing I really like about that method of just storing it in a file box is that you don't need to save entire notebooks. It really reminds you to just sort of cull things to keep it minimal. I know homeschoolers who save a banker's box per year per child. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. At this point, I would have something like, I don't know, almost 8 or 9 banker's boxes, and that just does not make sense to me. So one basic banker's box size for each of them forever, plus obviously any journals they write in, etc. The second part of my record keeping is basically this gigantic hardback book that I got from Amazon. I believe it has over 365 pages or so, and that's actual just pages, so double-sided it would be over 700. And you can see it's really quite thick, like over 2.5 inches thick, I'd say. It's nicely bound with this like cloth binding. It's a really sturdy book, and I have one for each of my children. And this is the book that I stored their own creativity in. So it's not creativity that's been like instructed or directed by me. It's really just artistic work. So I don't put any like writing samples in here or anything, though some of the things have writing samples. But if they bring me pictures that I like, or if they show me something that they're really proud of, this is the book that I put those things in. I also do little questions like every year in it. So you know, like I have a list of standard questions that I ask every year. Sometimes they'll ask to just do something. So, you know, my eldest had asked to just do a cut and paste thing. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. He drew this picture and then he dictated a story out to me. And so I wrote out the story that he wrote. And I try to date the pages, but if you can see, in general, what I'll do is if he draws something that he's proud of, or if they bring me something that I really like, or if they ask, like, can you put this in my black book for me, then I will go ahead and put it in there. And so there's the questions again. And then just handprints. I'm really like partial to handprints, little things that they give me, and it just shows like what they're interested in drawing. A little fingerprint page that we did together. Just things that they're very interested in. And if they find it important enough to tell me to put it in here, I'm really happy to put it in here. And so there was the whole Optimus Prime series. There's little drawings. I love narrating their little drawings if they have a story with it, because then I can always remember what it actually meant. And so these are really just their own drawings, like some paper art that's three-dimensional. You know, just things to show their own creativity. He drew Mahatma Gandhi, which I think is just adorable. And what I'll do is, since I don't always have time to stick in these pictures, I keep a folder in each of these books for them, and then I just have a little, like, where I slide in things that I'm considering putting in there that they might want me to put in there. So here he had put some artwork up for sale, and so I left the little sale stickers because I thought that was adorable, so that's how I want to record it in the book. I'm behind on doing this, but I love the idea of having a book full of artwork that they wanted to save at the end of their school career with me. Last but not least, I bought a Lecterm 1917 for each of the children, because up until this point, to record curricula and reading lists, field trips, etc., I've been saving our old planners. But now with a new minimalist bent and a smaller house, I realized that I really don't want to save every single homeschool planner from every single year. I would rather have a portfolio for each child in one book. So what I'm going to do starting this year, and I'll go backwards for my eldest because our first year homeschooling was in first grade, I'm going to make a portfolio. So there'll be a set of pages for first grade, a set of pages for second, third, fourth, all the way through our homeschooling career. And this book will contain basically their homeschooling record. It'll have test scores, it'll have extracurriculars, field trips, reading lists, attendance, anything that any official organization would want to see, and also anything that they would want to see, just to see, like, what did I learn? What curricula did I use? What was I studying that year? Was I studying biology? Was I studying chemistry? What book did I use for it? How old was I when I took Taekwondo? When did I start taking piano? All of those details will be in this book, and I just think it's a very helpful tool to have it all in one place per student so that they can take it with them. I was thinking about this, and if you just save all your records in a planner that contains information for all your children, it might be really difficult at the end of the day to separate that out in a meaningful way for them or for any officials that might want to see it. So just to make my life easier and to give them a clean record of their academic history in our homeschool, I went ahead and bought one of these for each child. They look exactly the same. They're all red. They're the only red notebooks I have, so it's very easy to find on a shelf. I bought this large size, which I don't know what it is in inches, but it is the 225 by 315 millimeter Lecterm 1917. I got the dotted version so that I could do some artistic things without being too limited. You'll notice that it does come with this band that goes around all the way so you can secure it. One of the features that I really like about this Lecterm is that it has an index or table of contents, and that goes on for 3 pages, and then each page, you'll note, is numbered. So when you do your table of contents, it makes it really easy. It comes with 2 bookmarks, 2 ribbon bookmarks right here, so you can easily find your place. And my plan is to go ahead and start off with the first page and put in first grade, because that's the first year we homeschooled my eldest, and write down basically his questions. If you notice in that art book, like the questions I asked at the beginning of the year, I'm going to put down those questions and his answers. On the next page, I'm going to put down his curricula list. So I'll have the curriculums for English, reading, math, etc., and what we use. I'll go on and put any relevant test scores, and I might just make a copy of that and paste it in, or I might handwrite those in. Any field trips that we went on, our reader list, as well as our read aloud list. So basically it'll be about 10 to 20 pages per grade, and I will leave some blank pages at the end of each so that I can add some little pictures, etc., that I will get around to printing eventually, so that this is a nice little simple portfolio, but no more than, I would say, 20 pages per grade, probably closer to 10 or 15, and I'll just go on through and do second grade, and we will be set for the third grade year. But like I said, basically only what a school official will want to see: reading lists, attendance, curriculum, field trips, extracurriculars, nothing too extensive and nothing too complicated. Maybe an immunization record, just so I don't have to hunt and peck for that later. But yeah, that is everything that'll be in here. And so between these three different pieces, this record keeping book, the file box, and the giant art book, I think my kids will have a nice little record of their learning experience. And of course, I try to record pictures on Instagram so that I have at least like a daily 365 kind of log of homeschool for our family life here. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. I will link this and the Sterilite box and that giant black book down below in the description box if you're interested. And don't forget to check out Lindsay's video over at Mama Shmoo's Homeschool Reviews. She has great ideas for planning too. She is my planning geek friend, and I just love doing this series with her, so make sure you go and check out Lindsay's channel as well. If you guys have other planning related videos you'd like us to do, please let me know in the comments to hear more about how you guys do your record keeping. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I wish you the very best day.